definitely could have had that. If he wanted to, as she puts it, smooth her right over, he could have smoothed her over in many directions without any preamble, but he didn't. And I thought that level of delicacy might have been because he didn't want to do it on the telly, but also might have been because he felt a certain level of real affection for her, which deepened as the programme went on. And I thought it was genuine. Are you sceptical about it?
I'm just asking because, I mean, it's been a topic of contentious debate within this house on several occasions, and the general consensus, obviously not shared by myself because I think they're a wonderful couple and I think Josie's a worthy winner, but that perhaps John James, not being the most intelligent person in the world, didn't know what he was doing. That's what certain... One of the housemates who left today had nothing but horrendous things to say about him.
Why?
Well, because, first of all, he wasn't exactly, as John James would be the first to say himself, not really the sharpest in the shed. Perhaps, you know, Josie picked up on that and made a play.
I don't think that at all.
I don't think that myself.
I think she fancied him rotten. He's a very good-looking bloke. I mean, he's really obviously good-looking. He's not an acquired taste, is he? He does look like the poor man's David Beckham. He's good-looking. She really fancied him. And then she really liked him. And you could tell she really liked him because however annoying he was, however infuriating, she just looked at him with this kind of indulgent smile. And I think her love for him and her sweet personality, which won the whole country over, won him over. Don't you think he fell for her?
I think there's two things. I think he has perhaps an over-independence on his mum. And so I think he's a real mummy's boy, and I think perhaps emotionally he's immature because he's looking almost for... he worships his mother, like most sons do, but...
As I do.
In such a way, I think he's looking for a substitute, and hence, you know, this push-pull with her. If someone's pushing and pull with somebody, it's not a great sign, I think, in a personal relationship. Either you be with somebody or you don't. People that push and pull are normally...
You don't think there was less pull and more push towards the end? And a bit of the push me, pull you?
I think there's a lot of
I'm pretty sure in a hotel in Boreham Wood we're singing a lot of
bit of you
pushing
pull
and
mine and
well.
I'll push yours. I thought there's a certain element of that going on. Yeah, I thought it was a genuine thing, and I thought they were both struggling for it not to kind of flare up too fast and too publicly, and so they were holding off a bit, and then, yeah, I thought it was...
What about his crying?
And I thought any celeb, if I was allowed to say what I'd watched on the show, I thought any celeb who decided to blunder in and trample all over that poor young girl's dreams was an insensitive bastard, really. You don't go round telling somebody in love that somebody else doesn't love them when you don't know. I think everyone should have shut up about it.
I'm inclined to agree, and perhaps a few million people in this country as well.
Yeah, it wasn't nice. It wasn't kind. Even if the said celebs genuinely believed that he wasn't worthy of her. They were only basing it on their blinking viewing of a TV show and not the feelings of her sweet little heart. And they should have shut the fuck up.
Well, I'd just like to say Josie is welcome on our show, and John James. We're both glad to have them at any time on our show, as we both think they're a smashing couple.
We're going to have one more final question.
Brilliant pair of people.
For Vanessa, before the show ends. What do you hope for your next 7 days in the house?
I hope for peace, tranquility, harmony, and I hope to survive without unravelling and sobbing and falling apart at the seams. And I hope to make some lasting friends.
Good.
Brilliant.
Ladies and gentlemen.
It's been yet another riveting, rip-roaring edition of Big Brothers, Little Brothers.
Cousin.
And I am Victor Ibua.
And I'm Nick Bateman, and we'll see you tomorrow night. Thank you.
Thank you. Cue important music and credits.
And credits roll. Good night.
Well, that was a good show. You must feel great about it.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad.
How's it rating?
It's very good. I mean, we had a rocky one earlier on this morning. Do you know what I mean? It was like, what the hell was going on with that Nicky Graham?
I've never corpsed before, but Nicky Graham was looking at us like... No, we were talking in some ancient dialect. And she looked so...
Ancient Aramaic.
It's like if you sometimes do a pantomime and you've forgotten a line or someone goes cross-eyed at you, you try and not stifle your laugh. And Nicky was just looking at Vicky, looking at me.
Ruined his life. You know, it was one of those moments, and it's one of them ones where I just thought to myself, perhaps this wasn't the right thing to do, as recommended by Brian Dowling.
Now, obviously... not doing a show anymore.
Well, now we're no longer being filmed.
You do,
you can really relax,
Yeah, but you do radio morning, isn't it? You do the morning.
Yeah, I do 9 till 12, and I do it 6 days a week.
I love talk radio. I think it's fascinating.
Me too.
And people's views and opinions, no matter how good or how bad, are sometimes quite fascinating to actually what the person on the street thinks.
I think one of the best things is when you get to my advanced stage of 48 and a half, which I can't believe I'm this old, but it's really a shock to that. Really is a shock to the system.
Never.
That you can act. That I genuinely can start the morning thinking I think something, and have my mind changed. And that's wonderful, because the older you get, the more set in your ways you are, the more you think you know everything and all this. And the more I find I know absolutely nothing, and I think that's brilliant. To go to work and not know how you feel, and at the end you have it's brilliant.
I like that about your show. It's got a nice flexibility. I mean, I've listened to what's that guy's name? He's a blabbermouth, and he's always just forcing his opinions down people's throats.
I know who you mean, but I'm not going to say it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So he's got a name that's based around a very popular car. Yeah, but.
Yeah, but sometimes it's yin yang. Sometimes it's very forthright, and you want that from a presenter. And sometimes he may overstep the mark, which also draws you to the show. But you have to have an opinion.
Have you been presenting on talk radio too?
No, if I could wave a magic wand, I like that kind of medium, because I like people, I like opinions.
Not you, Nick. Really?
Well, hence we do this show.
Are you in the travel industry now?
No, I just write travel articles.
Oh, you write travel articles?
So, but that's...
So lots of people think that's the ideal life.
It's not really, because travel writing now has been... Most of the papers now don't use freelancers. They use subs, or they use sports people to do it, the sports editors or do it. But also, because most magazines don't pay that well for it, and you actually probably spend more on tips and, miscellaneous, so you don't do it for the money, you do it actually for the love of doing it. But I think it's one of the things the negative thing I found about Big Brother is that people assume that you're a Big Brother contestant, you're stupid.
Not you, though.
Well,
and actually not you either.
Yeah, no, of course not. But the thing...
That's my disguise.
It has been one of those things that it's opened doors, but it's also closed it, because it's cast everyone into it, so it's Big Brother people. It's almost, like... Not being a paedophile, it's too strong, but... In the industry,
God, I should say that's too strong.
But in the industry, Big Brother contestants are kind of looked down upon, so it's quite hard to break into or do anything within the media without people going, well, they're Big Brother people. So there is this kind of
stigma,
which is if I can do something or Victor can do something, then fine, fair enough. But if you're able to do something, but you're stigmatised because you've been in Big Brother, that's quite hard to take.
So there's the balance of being stigmatised because you've been in it.
Yeah.
The fact that you would have been entirely unknown had you not been in it. And so you'll never, ever be able to balance...
It'll never be an even keel.
The good it's done you versus the bad it might have done you. How will you ever know? How will anyone ever know?
But, in America, the Big Brother contestants are picked up by the network saying, OK, we're trying this. OK, that didn't work, but we're trying this. But in England, it's far more... You're a Big Brother contestant, so therefore, we don't want to know.
Of course, the redoubtable Alison Hammond, who's done exceptionally well, hasn't she?
But I think she is the exception out of 160 people.
She's a very
Brown
well
Darling,
regarded presenter. She's done a bloody good job, and she's very, very nice too.
Yeah.
And Brian's done incredibly well too. And Nikki's done well, hasn't she?
Yeah, Nikki's done all right. She's done all right for herself. Yeah.
And she's constantly recreated herself. There's constantly something new to talk about.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I mean, like I said, I didn't think I'd get on with Nikki when I came in here. But apart from bedtime bonkers behaviour, that's, it's been a pleasure.
What about Chantel? She's done amazingly well, hasn't she?
It's just
but I think with that was a lot to do when they got married. There's lots of deals on the table. She was actually a model before, so it did do it, but if she wanted to break into mainstream presenting or radio presenting or something, then it becomes much more difficult because you're a Big Brother contestant.
But of course, it's much more difficult for everybody because there are fewer programmes being made, and the recession has put paid to loads of original programming, and well-known seasoned presenters are finding it very hard to get work. And I mean, I don't know whether the Big Brother blessing will always outweigh the curse, because it brings prominence, and it brings attention, and it brings a certain level of interest in you that otherwise there might not be. All these people who've never been on it and have still never been heard of will wish they were you more than anything else on earth, won't they? I suppose.
You can tell it's a subject close to your heart.
What do you do for a living, Victor, though?
Basically, I got into finance because obviously I always kind of about being a Nigerian, but I mean, we love finance in my family. Some people are either a doctor or a lawyer or something to do with money, and I've just always been fascinated by it. So I thought once people stopped caring about my life, do you know what I mean? this is what I do.
Yeah.
And I was doing this, and then a few months ago, last year I had a back problem, and it kind of escalated, and then I had to have I had to have a surgery, quite invasive surgery. Yeah, on my it was heartbreaking stuff, basically on my lower spine.
Oh, this is bad.
So yeah, it's kind of hindered that for the last couple of months, really. But after this, I'm going to go back to, finance and just general trading. That's what I do, and that's where I'm comfortable, to be honest. So that's in the stars for Vic.
And what did your family say when you did this?
Oh, they were fine, because they were quite happy, because they know that, especially at that age, the week before that, anything could have happened. I could have gone in here and we could have had, the Hindenburg of Big Brothers. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Something like that. But generally speaking, apart from one or two things, I mean, I didn't say anything too offensive. I didn't kill anybody. So it was quite a successful run. Do you know what I mean? Taking all things into
And what did your
context.
family think?
I think, I think they felt that I was a little victimised by the edit, and I think they had a lot of intrusion with, parents were followed and people appearing over the wall with cameras. So they felt that was a poor aspect of it, because it was my life under scrutiny, not theirs. And so obviously somebody leaked where they live. So they had a period when they actually didn't like it, because they're quite private. But when you've got journalists in the pub asking questions and paying people to reveal information, it's uncomfortable if you're not used to it.
And so this time around, were they appalled at the very thought of you coming back?
I didn't tell them.
You didn't tell? That's easy, makes it easy.
I think my wife would have told them just the day before, saying, he's going on.
And what did your wife think?
Well, actually, initially I turned it down. I just said, actually, I've been through it. I know what it's like. I know what the edit's like. I know the possibilities. And also, it's quite nice now being able to walk through a town without being recognised or being recognised. And people go, well, I know you from somewhere, but where from? And I thought, actually, you're doing that, and it just brings it all back. And I thought, as I'm regarded from 10 years ago, the same kind of thing happened. Of course, a couple of days in, I was given this thing to do, which went back to what happened there. Then I've had quite a few tasks of actually being way out my comfort zone. And you think, and I thought, actually, it's supposed to be a celebration. So I haven't felt victimised. I just felt, OK, right, this is part of their game plan for me to try and either wind me up or get me to walk out or get me to react in a way that I wouldn't react unless I was provoked. And I had all these thoughts before saying, it's probably not a good idea. And then my wife said, actually, if you don't do it, you'll sit at home and watch it and go, I wish I'd done that. And I think the old adage is true. You regret things that you don't do rather than things you've done.
I regret things I've done. I regret things I haven't done. I regret practically everything. Did you do it for a similar reason?
I just wanted to get stuck in again, to be honest. I just thought, why not? I thought, I climbed off the operating table, got a phone call, thought, yeah, why not? Rather than, I can sit about and mope for another month until I'm well enough, or I can come back and sit around in here and maybe get annihilated, or whatever. I thought I'd roll the dice, and that was it, and see where the chips...
Now you're in pain now, you're okay?
No, I'm fine. I'm pretty much fine, to be honest. The main only pain I'm in is the constant, flogging I get every day from these guys who keep trying to humiliate. Next thing they'll have me in a Borat mankini, you know what I mean?
Oh, don't say that. Don't give them any ideas. Oh, my God. Cancel that bit.
I think everyone's
they did that to poor old Cisco, didn't they?
Yeah, they
did. I can't
did.
believe he agreed to do that.
I wouldn't have been doing it. They wouldn't have done that to Vinnie Jones.
No,
so,
well, Vinnie Jones wouldn't have had it.
Exactly.
But the funniest thing is, I think this last series just gone by, I thought the tasks were exceptionally creative and brilliant. And for the first 3 days, we sat here and going, can we have something to do? Because if you're awake for 16 hours, or 17 as we are...
Suddenly. God, that must be the adrenaline ebbing away, mustn't it?
It is.
Yeah. So for the first 4 days, we just sat there going... Because Coolio was kicking off, they couldn't do anything. We sat there for literally thinking, this is really dull. We're sitting here doing absolutely nothing. Can we have a task? Can we do something? And because that last series was so brilliant creatively, we thought, we'll have all these amazing things. And only now, but we've had a few dance tasks, but we haven't had the exciting sort of